And now, the survival show that once survived Pollengeddon 2018 and a cold all at the same time. In this episode, we riff on guns, YouTube, and Facebook, and we'll sit down with Justin Carroll. He'll help us understand Cambridge Analytica and your most intimate of intimates. Howdy and welcome to the Rabbit Hole's Urban Survival Podcast. This is episode number 252. I'm your host, Aaron, and you are in the rabbit hole. Safe and sound. Before we jump into today's episode, there are a few quick things. First, this is going to be a fast-paced, weird mixed bag episode full of thrills, spills, and sharp turns because, second, I'm feeling like crap. Between a cold, pollen, and some other stuff, I just don't have a long show into me today, so we're going to get through things quickly together this week. Third, if you are confused about where the ITRH Facebook page went, there is a post about it on the ITRH website. It's at the bottom in site news. Or you can listen to the first few minutes of last week's really good episode, by the way. Or you could go check out the latest privacy and security podcast episode from this week. I went on it to discuss in a bit of depth why we killed all things Facebook. Let's just say the culmination of all the icky things Facebook does finally got to me. It wasn't one thing, it was a ton of privacy concerns and just crap. And it was justified a bit with a business decision of Facebook having a low return for ITRH. Light your engines, here we go. Let's hear from your buddy Justin Carroll of the Privacy and Security Podcast on Facebook. Justin, welcome back to the Rabbit Hole, dude.
Aaron, thanks for having me on, man.
All right, so here's the thing. What happened with Cambridge Analytics?
Okay, Cambridge Analytica is a company that specializes in market insights, we'll say. So what they did is they put this test out released it into Facebook called Your Digital Life. And about 70,000 people took this test. And it was just this little quiz, kind of like the which Game of Thrones character would you be quiz or whatever. But that gave them an incredible amount of access to Facebook data. A psychologist that works at Cambridge Analytica asked Facebook for all of this data through this test on grounds that he was conducting a legitimate academic experiment. Once you had taken this test, it gave Cambridge Analytica access to all of your Facebook friends. So millions of people were impacted by this. And Facebook came out earlier this week and just said way more than they initially suspected. And between this and some other things, pretty much every single Facebook user's data has been compromised. And that should bother you because even if you're a light user, that is probably several hundred pages about things that you have liked. And I don't mean things that you have clicked the like button on, but things that you've demonstrated some sort of interest in, things that you've spent time looking at, and not just on Facebook, but throughout your entire digital life. When you have the Facebook app on the phone, you've logged in to Facebook on your computer and you haven't cleared that history and those cookies. This is pretty much every single thing about you, and it was shared with this company. Yeah, in a nutshell, that's what's going on.
That is a pretty large amount of data. So from a privacy standpoint, let's play dumb here. Why is this a big deal that they have this much, what do I care if somebody sees that I went to, I don't know, squeakyhamster.com or something. What's the big deal?
Well, I mean, there's a number of ways you could look at this for reasons this might bother you as someone who cares about your privacy. And at the most basic, this says where you live, where you work, the restaurants that you frequent, the grocery stores that you shop at, the types of things you buy at grocery stores. Because if you're involved in a grocery store program, Facebook's able to see some of that data also. So they know about your health and your eating habits, and that might affect your insurance rates. And we also have the ideological debate of, maybe in the future, let's say there's a president that you think has sympathies that don't align with the interests of the United States and other Western countries. And obviously, Facebook holds all this data and could theoretically say who is a Christian or who is a Jew or who's a Muslim or who is gay or who whatever. They have all this data. Maybe we get a president that's not friendly to firearms interests in the future. Everybody thinks of, well, we don't have to worry about anything ever again because Trump is the president. But whatever power he has will invariably be passed on to the next president. No president in history has ever given back presidential power. And the government has massive influence over Facebook. So let's say the president wanted to know maybe the name of every single American that had gone to a gun range in the last year, or every single American that had purchased ammunition or searched for maybe firearms accessories in the last year. There's a lot of reasons you should care about this, kind of depending on what, your level of paranoia or your level of fear of the government, or just the fact that Cambridge Analytica had access to all this data, and we don't know how secure their systems are. We don't know if they're going to be subject to a data breach and lose all this. So a lot of reasons to care.
Mm-hmm. So this seems to be largely fueled by the fact that they were working for Trump. But I'd seen something about Obama's campaign getting, air quotes here, special access to data too. What was that about? Because that doesn't seem like it actually got very much coverage.
So Cambridge Analytica is on a completely different scale. First of all, it was completely misrepresented as a academic study rather than this is something that's actually going to be used in the wild. And there's varying levels of access to Facebook data. There are general metrics of, hey, all the people in this zip code. Generally 90% of them fall into this age, income, race, religion, demographic, whatever it is. And that's a little bit different thing than, hey, Aaron, this specific user, we know he shops at Whole Foods, he buys his coffee at Starbucks, he drives a Lexus, and he works at this law firm, and here's where he lives, and here's his wife and his kids, and all that stuff. So varying levels of scope here, but I mean, at this point, you should basically assume that this has been given to many, many, many parties on many sides. And even if you're not a fan of the current president and you're like, this is BS, you got to remember, like, there will be another president after this president.
Dude, I know you and I could talk about this for an entire episode, but one, I'm kind of heavily medicated here and just trying to get through the episode. And two, you got to go someplace and do some stuff. So we'll cut it off there. And hopefully that is enough for people that they understand this was kind of dirty and really, really invasive and not cool. So anyway.
Yeah, well, I will just say one other thing. Yes, this is pretty dirty and this is pretty alarming. I think largely because it has the potential to sway something as big as an election, but also realize that Facebook has apologized for 1,000,001 different things. Right now, Facebook is also coming out and saying, yes, we're reading all of your messenger messages, including the quote unquote encrypted messenger message. Facebook also owns WhatsApp. So maybe think about that. Facebook has this long history, this kind of systemic history of abusing its, I want to say customer base, its product base, which is you, the user. And maybe if you're on the tipping point of thinking, well, I don't really use Facebook that much, or I'm really upset about this, like maybe now's the time to let go. I would really, really encourage you to do that. And I know Aaron would be happy to tell you exactly how he did that.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. Actually, even better, I told people how to do it on your podcast, so they can go check that out.
Absolutely right, man. Thank you.
All right, dude. I'll check you later.
All right, man. Later.
We're going to take a quick break for this message. Listener, do you get at least $3 a month worth of value out of ITRH? You should see what we do for the ITRH Roving Horde Armada members. Check it out today by visiting itrh.net. Members receive access to the private ITRH Armada Slack app group where they get to connect, get questions answered, share alerts and news, and shenanigans. Twice a month, members get on a private video chat. We discuss guns, mead, news, and other matters, and the things you just can't talk about with anyone else. In-person meetups in some areas. Access to every episode ever produced by ITRH, including one that was never aired. Big discounts to the ITRH gear store and participating vendors. And that's just to name a few things you get with your membership when you go to itrh.net and become part of the Roving Horde Armada. In the Rabbit Hole is mostly kept on the air and supported by members just like you. Go to I2H.net to find out more and become part of the I2H Roving Horde Armada. And hey, speaking of the gear store, In the Rabbit Hole is now selling survival gear on the site. You can get there by going to intherabbithole.com/shop. But this isn't just a bunch of junk. I'm hand selecting and stocking the store with the best gear. And every month, we're adding new products. Go to intherabbithole.com/shop. Again, that's intherabbithole.com/shop. Now, back to the episode. Hold on for a sharp turn, kids. Guns. What's going on in the gun debate? Everyone is in a bit of a stalemate. Nothing is moving forward, but nothing is also really moving backward necessarily. As much as one side is pushing for 16-year-olds to dictate constitutional law, the other side is swelling the war chests of Second Amendment advocacy groups. Recently, it came out that the NRA has seen, I think it was a 3x increase, blow the doors off all past records surge in donations. But that is also more than just a war chest to defend the second. This also signals to politicians on both sides how amped up supporters really are. Now, we may lose bump stocks. Personally, I think bump stocks are stupid and gimmicky. It's not controlled, it's not real full auto, and full auto has a very, very narrow use case that you're likely to never, ever use or probably get proper training on anyway, so meh. Is full auto fun? Damn skippy. It's lots of fun. So I get why some people like bump stocks, but they're dumb and just novelty. Why do we care if they go away? Clever question. It's all in how they write the regulation. If regulation is written loosey-goosey, it could wipe out binary triggers and other things. It could also go so far as to screw with the entire trigger aftermarket, like the cool Elfman triggers and a lot of the Geisley triggers. Maybe they decide straight triggers are just too fast. Who knows? So this is why it's important to stay on top of things. Be aware, stay fully informed, and stay vigilant. Staying fully informed is an important thing to keep in mind here. Hold on for another sharp turn, kids. Here we go. YouTube. Is YouTube an evil, gun-hating, fascist freak entity? Possibly, but they're not banning all guns from the platform and kicking everyone off. Here's the thing. Every 6 months, I hear how YouTube is shutting down all gun channels and everybody's up in arms. This is never actually true. This is a community problem. If we keep getting apoplectic about things we're not fully informed about, we could go out into the world and yell, "Wolf! Wolf! There's a wolf!" Eventually, people stop paying attention. Then, one day a wolf comes along and eats you. Are they a public utility? Stop trying to invite government into your life when you don't like things. Do not open Pandora's box. That is a road you do not want to go down. Did they change the rules? Yes. Did most people read and understand the rule change? No. Are most of the rules stupid? You bet your butt they are. Chief among them is the ammo manufacturing bit, which implies reloading and hand loading. I don't know what else they could mean by that. Then there's firearms manufacturing, which could be broadly interpreted and actually be a really big deal. Did I freak out about it? Yes, I thought all the helpful gun channels would go away. I use YouTube a lot for looking up assembly and disassembly videos, product reviews, and how-to videos, and anything to do with the Beowulf, because Beowulf. The second part is I2H had just made an equipment investment. I'm going to start airing videos this fall. And I thought, crap, now what? But then I also quickly thought up a way to distribute the videos without YouTube, because I2H is its own damn website, and I tell you the address every episode. I'm not a fool who puts all my eggs in one basket and invests all my time, energy, and money into rented property. I feel the same way about podcasting. What would suck is that we wouldn't have a huge discovery advantage, that being people who are maybe new to guns or stuff and are looking for information who don't know these specialty sites like intherabbithole.com to go to for cool information about things. That could be a problem. But it turns out the new rule doesn't impact really like 95% of things. Let's actually read the rule. Policies on content featuring firearms. YouTube prohibits certain kinds of content featuring firearms. Specifically, we do not allow content that intends to sell firearms or certain firearms accessories through direct sales, e.g., private sales by individuals, or links to sites that sell these items. These accessories include, but may not be limited to, accessories that enable firearms to simulate automatic fire or convert a firearm to automatic fire, e.g. bump stocks, Gatling triggers, drop-in auto sears, conversion kits, and high-capacity magazines, i.e. magazines or belt carrying more than 30 rounds. Provides instruction on manufacturing a firearm, ammunition, high-capacity magazine, homemade silencer suppressors, or certain firearms accessories such as those listed above. This all includes instructions on how to convert a firearm to automatic or simulated automatic firing capabilities. Shows users how to install the above-mentioned accessories or modifications. The end. Part of the problem here is it's also very short and a bit ambiguous, but at the same time not. Is this a stepping stone to total gun annihilation on YouTube? Maybe. I don't know what's in their hearts and minds, but for now, it's a dust-up. It's annoying, and it's stupid. But there's another thing going on with YouTube in general that people just aren't aware of. YouTube is doing all kinds of just really banana stuff lately and pissing off and pissing on content creators left and right. By that, I mean all of them, not a political distinction there. Everybody, all the content creators. Can you fight YouTube on it? Probably not. So, hopefully sites like Full30.com get their act together and become the YouTube of guns. And hopefully they make a lot of money at it and become super successful. We'll see. That's it. That's all I've got. My voice is going out. Comments on this episode about the shooting at YouTube will be deleted. You've been warned. These are not helping anyone. Show notes, links, and resources from this episode can be found by going to intherabbithole.com/E252. Become a supporting member and get super cool benefits by going to itrh.net. That's itrh.net. Members get access to all kinds of cool, fun stuff, but one of the best things really is the community. We've moved it off Facebook. We've moved it onto a private Slack workspace. And you know what? We're chatting it up, having a good time. Things are a little clumsy, but we're getting used to the joint. You know, some flowers here, some curtains there. We're fixing up the joint. It's pretty cool. We also have the twice-a-month virtual video hangs where you can talk about all the stuff with other preppers you can't talk about with anybody else. And of course, all the other fun and exciting things you get when you go to itrh.net and become part of the iTRH Roving Horde Armada. With that, we wrap up episode number 252 from the Lone Star State. Till next time, stay safe and sound.